Okay, everybody, I'm going to show you in this video how to tweak the CSS of your site. And this is something you'll probably want to do where you want to change the font or the margin or the width on something on on your site, right? So we're going to use this as an example. This is that same site I've been using. Now, let's say for purposes here, it bothers you, this main article column that we're looking at is a little too close to the widgets. Okay, you want more space here. And there's a couple of things that we could do. So what we have to do is figure out what this box is. Remember when we were doing our thimble, we were organizing our site. We were thinking of our HTML in a series of boxes, right? So if we look at this site, we have a main top box that has our menu and this mentioning of the site. I forgot to get rid of that from the previous video. And then we have the header. Okay, so we have a main navigation, a header, and then we have a content box that basically has our posts that is next to the widget or sidebar. And then if we scroll down, and then in this particular theme, even though I don't have anything in it, there are two content boxes at the bottom. They're hidden right now because there's nothing in the content boxes. That's something else to notice is when you're using your widgets, if you don't have anything in there, they won't show up. So it'll be like this is invisible. So if I took all the widgets out of my sidebar, there'd be nothing here. So that's what's happening down here. So if you look at this, so basically I have these two main content bar and a sidebar, and I want to increase the space. So first I have to figure out how did this designer refer to these boxes, okay? So what we're going to do, I'm using Firefox, but you can do this in Firefox, Chrome, and you can do it in Safari, but you have to turn on the developer function. So it's easier to find in Firefox and Chrome. If I go to developer, I go to the inspector, and you'll want to see in Firefox it's on by default. I believe you have to turn it on in Chrome, and it usually looks like this little button. So if I don't have it on, if I'm clicking through the page, then I see it, what I'm looking for. And you'll notice you can shrink this up. This is just like it was in Thimble. So we have our head section that tells us about the page and our body section, okay? And so what I can do, and you see there's a class, and it gives you all these different classes that are referred to in the body section. So there's a class called home, there's a class called blog, there's a class called logged in. Most of them you won't need to worry about. You don't need to worry about. And what's great about this inspector tool is it tells you all of the styles related to that particular section. So I'm opening up the body section. I'm going to go back to this one. And I'm going to say, okay, what am I interested in? So we were interested in this whole column. And sometimes you have to play around with it a little bit to get exactly what you're wanting. This is an article, so that tells me it's probably not the whole thing because it's only highlighting that one article. It's not highlighting every article. So the article is probably within another box. So let's click on this. And when we do, it takes us to that part of the code. And if you notice, right above it is the main section. So there's an article that is within the main section. And when I click on that, that highlight, if I turn that off, now I get the entire main section. And if you see, it's main, hashtag main, period, site main. So what that tells me is that section has an ID of main, and it also has a class of .sitemain. So if we click on this and we look over here, now we get the code that we might be looking for, and we can see all the styles that are related to the site main. Okay, so there's my site main. Now this particular theme has different styles depending on the viewport. So depending on how big the screen is, you have slightly different styles. We're not going to worry about that. We're just worrying about the main style for now, okay? So there's my site main. This is the active style. These other ones are crossed out because they're not active. So I can click in here and I can add my own style. So I'm going to add a margin of, let's put 2M at the top and bottom. You see what happened? Now remember, when we do margin with one number, it puts that on all sides of the box. So what that did is it put it on the top, the bottom, the right, and the left. Okay, and that added some space. If I want to disable it, I just click it again and it's not active. So now I can see what it looks like normally, and then this looks what it looks like with my new style. Okay, let's try this. I don't want any on the top and bottom, because when I do that, it takes it away from between the header and this. So maybe I don't want that behavior. So the first number is your, if I do two numbers, top and bottom, right and left. Now I've added three M's. Remember what that is? That's basically three capital M's of space on the right and left. Okay, that looks a little better. Now if I don't want any on the left, I only want it on the right between the main column and the widget, then what I can do is say 0, 0, 0, 3M. Oop, I put it on the side, sorry. 3M, 0, 0. There you go. Top, right, bottom, left when you have four numbers. So you can either put one number, two number, three numbers, or four, and it will do different behaviors, okay? When you have four numbers, the first number is your top of your box, the second number is the right, the third number is on the bottom, and the fourth number is on the left. And so we're wanting to put space only here. So I've said no space, don't change anything on the top, zero space on the bottom, zero space on the left, and 3M on the right. That's a little bit more of what I'm looking for. And remember what I said, if you want to really test it out, use some ridiculously high numbers. Let's put 10M. Let's try 100M. Okay, sorry. Got a little crazy there. All right, so there's 10M. That's probably a little too much. 5M is probably what I'm looking for. So now remember, this doesn't change your site permanently. What you have to do then is go in and edit the CSS of your site. So what you do is you go back to the appearance and you click on edit CSS. There's a couple ways to get to this. You can do it through the dashboard or you can do it through customize. And now that I know what it's called, I can go to my additional CSS and I can add that class, because I'm only changing the class. I don't want to change every single thing about it. I just want to change that particular class, and you want to go as close to what you're trying to change as possible. I'm going to add a margin. Another way to do this, if you don't want to do the group command, I could just do margin right and do 5M. And that solves my problem. And then don't forget to hit save and publish. Let's go back to this. We'll close this. Now I'm going to refresh this column. The spinning wheel of death. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, you get the idea. If this ever refreshes, it's not liking what I'm doing. Anyway, so that's how you change it. So you use the inspector, find the column or the part of the page that you're looking for, and then you can change the characteristics of that particular section. Now, I only changed the margin, but you could change anything you wanted about it. If I wanted to, I could specify a different font for just that column. I could specify a different background color for that column if I wanted to. You can change whatever you want, and make it and customize it to the look that you want to do. So that's how you edit the CSS of your site, to do some tweaks that, because some of you are going to have themes where in your customize you don't have a lot of options. And sometimes you're going to want to change the color of something that may not be in this menu. Okay. And so that's where you can fix that. So good luck. Good luck. I'll look forward to seeing what you guys are going to come up with on Friday. See you later.